Welcome to a little segment I like to call Bumps and Bends. Hey guys, welcome to my first track tour. I've called this Bumps and Bends for a reason. There's lots of bumps in this track, Lime Rock Park, the brand new one, that we need to have a look at, and bends. I love my bends, I love my corners. Let's try and get through them as fast as possible. So first of all, let's have a look at my times. Before this particular session, this is my third practice session. I was doing mid to roughly a 44.3. I was pretty happy with that. But then I just changed the way I looked at this circuit, and let's hope I can share this with you guys, and yeah, hopefully you can get something out of it as well. Thanks to everyone who suggested this. It's something that I've been kind of procrastinating, and yeah, we need to have a look at all of the bumps. Now, these concrete strips, there's all different types of concrete strips on this track. We need to have a look at these ones, which can be abused, and there's other ones which have to be ignored. So what I'm trying to do is focus on either the curb or the line, and yeah, we'll have a look at, this is one of the good ones. It is turn 2, maybe they call it turn 3. I think it's turn 3. This one here, you've got to switch back. So we'll have a look at the line you need to take, but it's the bump here that we need to have a look at. So the curbing is actually raised, and after spending a lot of time on the previous curbing, you try and do the same thing here, but what it will do is unsettle the car and spit you out to the opposite end of the track. And if you end up on the opposite end of the track, there is not much runoff, and you will end up in that fence very quickly. With the new damage model, you'll lose an exhaust, a wheel, a wing. It's all over. It's a long walk back to the pits. So we'll have a look at the next corner. You want to maximize the exit there, but like I said, we'll have a look at that in a second. This curbing here is quite good, but this curbing on the inside is another raised curb. The curb itself is fairly smooth, but aim for that line rather than the curb. Even if you hit it in a soft way, you'll notice your lap time just decrease by a couple of hundredths, which means you're actually losing momentum there. So once you get over the curb, you want to get the car across as much as possible, and this is the evil one. Now, I'm actually braking for this corner, but the corner itself asks you to go flat out, so we'll get a bit closer and we'll have a look at it. The track itself dips down a bit, which makes you feel like you've got a lot more grip. But at this corner, you need to focus on your exit rather than your entry. So I'm giving it a conservative entry, and the bump itself, I'm still learning these controls. The bump itself, come on, knackers, it's very aggressive. I've done this in the BMW, and I've done it in the F3, and in both cars, if you hit that little bit of curb, it's rough enough to unsettle the car and send you wide. So your focus seriously needs to be on touching the line and not the concrete. There's one other bump which they've introduced into this version of the track, and it's this grate here. This grate actually goes down and then up, so it actually acts as a ramp. Now, we used to use this curbing a lot, and you'll see the drain itself is curved all the way up. So you're actually going to lose a lot of time on that drain. You really need to focus on the white line itself. And even if you're going to use curb, you need to bring the car back, the outside of the car right here. And then the next curb here is raised, but because of the speed of the car, oops, freeze. Let's get back on track. Because of the speed of the car, once you come down the hill, hitting that curb, it's almost the height, half the height of the wheel. It won't necessarily throw you off if you don't use much curb. If you go over this curb, it'll pretty much destroy your lap. It'll throw you to the other side of the circuit. And if you focus on that line, you'll see there's a little bit of concrete there. If you just shimmy it, you'll lose about one or up to a 5/100th of a second. So when you're chasing your lap times, you really want to get as close to that curbing and focus on the rev limiter, which you'll hit about here, the end of fifth. And if you hit the rev limiter there, you'll actually lose a bit of momentum as well. So it's about getting the flow of the circuit. Now let's have a look at the bends. I assure you my joystick skills will improve as the series goes on. I'm not even looking at that screen. This is what I meant about joystick. There we go. Where's the car? There it is. Why don't we just have a look at the far chase? Bring the car down. And I'll give you a run through of the track. So, this is the start of the lap. I'm going to do this lap. This is the start of the lap. We want to brake roughly that 2 marker, or on the right there's a blue cone. Don't use too much brake. Use the downforce and the gearbox down to 4th, then 3rd. Try and get as close to that line on the right as possible. Use as much acceleration as possible in 4th, turning, and then getting using the gearbox to pull the front end in. Now you want to be as far left here as possible so you can do the switch back at full throttle. You're going to get close to that line and maximize your exit speed. Touch that grass and you're in the wall. And this is pretty much a straight line section of the track. And then you want to focus on putting your tire on that concrete on the right, and that opens this corner up. Just aim for the white line. You won't necessarily hit it. You can then go flat out over the bump without getting any wheel spin, and then just a tap of the brake and just cut it in and aim for that white line. Your focus here is on the exit and creating as much momentum down the hill as possible. You'll gain a lot more time focusing on exit. Then, like I said, focus on the shift into 6th. Try and touch that line. Keep it nice and smooth. Don't necessarily have to go out wide with this relatively small car. And that will get you a 43.846, which is fairly competitive for this week. So we'll have a look in the cockpit view to finish off. And this is how it's done. Light braking just to bring the front end in. Turn. Then 3rd. Flat through here. Open the throttle, steering. Flat through here. Over the bump flat. On the brake there, bring that front end in. Focus on your exit. Into 6th. And there you go. That is Lime Rock Park Classic. Well, thanks for watching. Let me know if you like it. If it's too much, let me know. If it's not enough, let me know. I've enjoyed spending a lot of time with this track. I've learned a lot. Hope you guys have learnt something out of this. Hope your deltas come right down. And to finish off, I would suggest when you jump in your car, set your delta to all-time optimal lap, and that will grab the best sector you've ever done on this circuit and bunch it together for the best ever lap time, potential lap time, and that is a delta that you end up chasing. So yeah, give us a thumbs up if you liked it, down if you didn't. Make sure you subscribe and come check me out on Twitch, and I'll see you next time. Bye.